Hello, I'm Lauren Markham. Thanks for joining us for AFL Riverina TV. There are some great games in round 6 of the Farah League this weekend, including the highly anticipated encounter between East Wagga and the Rock. We'll catch up with Pies coach Dave Pieper shortly, but first we're going to try to make sense of the RFL, which has been blown wide open in the past couple of weeks. Let's take a look at round 5. On the Saturday, Mango host Ganmain, and then Narrandera come to Wagga to meet the Tigers. Gully have got Leeton Witten, and then on the Sunday it's Coolaman hosting Turvey Park. Griffith have the bye this week. Tom Walker from AFL Riverina joins us now. Tom, thanks for coming in.
No worries.
Now, there are 3 games this weekend that could be classed as the match of the round, but firstly let's take a look at Mango. They're hosting Ganmain. Who would you be backing?
I'm going to go for Ganmain. I think Jimbo Lawton is his second game back from suspension. He's one of the top players in the RFL. For him to come back is huge for Ganmain. Second game in, I think it'd be very hard. Mango are interesting. They're coming off the bye, so they'll be fresh and ready to go. But I think Ganmain, they won well last week against Turvey Park. I'll be tipping Ganmain.
And Wagga Tigers, they beat the Goannas. Then they got belted by Leeton, and now they've got Narrandera, and they upset the reigning premiers last week. What should we be expecting to see at Robbo Oval?
Yeah, it's hard to get a gauge on all the teams formed. Obviously against Colin Gully to win so well against the reigning premiers was a huge effort for Narrandera. I like Tigers. I think they're really hard to beat at Robinson Oval, and I think they'll be hard to beat.
And the Demons, they've got a huge test at home on Saturday when they host the Crows. Leeton have comfortably beaten Ganmain and Tigers in consecutive weeks. What's your tip there?
Leeton's probably the form team of the competition. No doubt a huge premiership threat now. Colin Gully, they're a bit weakened last week. They didn't have their strongest outfit out in the park. Will Haynes should be back in this week. He played last week in reserves, kicked 6 goals. I'll be tipping Leeton Crows. I think they're the form team and will be hard to beat.
And Coolaman, they're kind of becoming the kings of close wins, but Matt Hard will want to see something more against Turvey, do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Matt Hard's probably the most stressed coach in the Riverina at the moment. First round, 6 points. Not last 2 rounds, he's won by 1 point in both those games. He'll be looking for a good win, a comfortable win against Turvey Park. Turvey Park should be competitive, but I think Coolaman will be hard to beat.
Well, there's Tom's tips for the RFL. Now to the Farah League, where, as we mentioned, there's plenty of interest in the Gumley Oval game. The Hawks are tipped by many as this year's favourites, and they've started brilliantly with 5 straight wins. The Rock have only dropped the 1 game against Mara. We caught up with the Magpies coach Dave Pieper just after the Rock had outlasted North Wagga in a grinding affair.
Dave, well done. Another win on the board, but a pretty tough fight out there at times today against North Wagga. What did you make of it?
Yeah, no, it was definitely hard watching. North Wagga are a really good running side, and their kids just know nothing different but to keep running and attacking the footy. So we spoke about that before the game. We knew that we needed to get on top early, which we did. I thought our first 10 minutes of the game was really good and dominated the scoreboard, but still points ticking over instead of goals. But that'll come. But we knew they were going to be there, and we had to play 4 quarters to beat them.
Doesn't hurt to have a fight, given you've got a big game this week, East Wagga. That looks like a game that probably the whole Farah League's got one eye on next week. Yeah,
we haven't looked past, like we're just going week to week because the competition's so healthy, which is good. You can't look past one week to the next, so we'll turn our focus to that now. But East Wagga, we always have some good battles with East Wagga. Last time we played them, there wasn't much in it, I don't think, last year. They kicked a couple of goals late, and I think Gep kicked 10 for the day. So no, obviously we've got to nullify him, but it's more up the ground, and he's a good player. You know, if they can get one-on-ones with Gep down there, then you can't sort of do too much about it. So they will just be focusing on hopefully winning the contested footy, which we've prided on this year so far, and if we can do that, then we should be getting more inside 50s than them.
They've got some good players in the midfield too, with Benny Absalom and Bridie will be back, and Joe Scott. Have you got a plan for taking on those sort of blokes?
No, we've been working on our midfield stuff with Moosel and Higo, our 2 ruckmen, so we just go in full-on attack mode unless, if we have to go tempo footy, then that'll change things. But we're trying to go positive as much as we can, and once we played everyone once, then we look at next time we play and what we can and can't do then. So we won't be looking too much into their side, no, but obviously they've got some really good players.
Like we talked about being a very close comp, you probably learnt that against Mara. If you take your foot off the gas, a game can be gone from you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's definitely one that's stuck in the back of our mind and frustrated that if you don't turn up slightly off against any of the top 6, 7 sides, and you know you'll end up not getting the 4 points. So it's good. It's really good that you got to turn up each week, and it's just the key to have a bit of depth in the club, which is good. So you know it is good and enjoyable that way. You can't take your foot off at all. No.
And who you been happy with in your blokes in the first 5 weeks of the comp?
Oh, I think our backline's been really good, really tight. Joshy Ashcroft's been fantastic, very disciplined down there. He gets a job down back, and played really well. He's played on Curtis this week, played on Wallace last week, and I think kept him to 2 or 3 touches each sort of thing. So he's been really good down there. Through the middle, you've got Tommy Yates and Sads and these sort of blokes, and Dennis Pettamont's starting to get fit now, and he's a classy player. So once he gets fit, he's really good.
Will you be back next week?
That's the plan. Yeah.
All right, good luck.
Dave Pieper there. Tom, as he said, this game will probably be one in the middle, but there'll be plenty of interest at either end of the ground. Are you tipping Geppert or Carey in this one?
It will be a bit of a shootout. The 2 best forwards in the competition, Mark Geppert and Andy Carey. Gep's obviously kicked about 30 goals roughly for East Wagga, a huge focal point for the club. Andy Carey was one of the best players so far in this league, a really great goal kicker for the Rock. I'd be interested to see, like Dave said, in the middle, it will be won and lost. I think the Rock, I think they'll be hard to beat. They have Mitch Ward as well up forward, so it's just not Andy Carey. I'll be tipping the Rock on that one.
It's not the only big game as we take a look at round 6. East Wagga have got the Rock, as we just said. North Wagga are hosting Temora. Mara have got Colliamberley, and CSU are hosting Northern Jets. It's the bye for Barellan this time around. Now, North Wagga, they beat Temora at McPherson Oval last year. What do we make of the Roos this year, and do you think the Saints can keep them outside the 5?
Yeah, I do. I'm tipping North Wagga in this game. I think Temora have struggled a little bit since their big win against Mara in the wet. North Wagga at home is generally a very good team. So I'm tipping North Wagga. I think they'll get over Temora.
And another team that's hard to get a read on at the moment is Mara. They did knock the Blues out of the final last year, and Collie, I guess, won't have forgotten that. They struggled a little against Barellan, though. Yeah,
they struggled against Barellan. They struggled against CSU as well, to be honest. The last 2 weeks, they probably haven't hit the form that they've wanted. They are missing some pretty handy players for them. Brad Turner, Clint Taylor, two of the best key position players in the competition. But Collie having to travel over to Mara, I'm going to tip Mara in a tight battle.
And CSU, they're at home to the Jets. If the Giants can beat Hawthorn in the AFL, is it too early to suggest that the Bush Pigs can win a second game this year?
It will be difficult for CSU. Northern Jets, they'll be desperate to win this game. They're probably not as high on the ladder as they want to be. They've played some really good teams. They'll need to win this game if they want to play finals, I suspect. I'm tipping the Jets. I think it's just too important for them.
Thanks, Tom. A massive weekend there in both leagues. Enjoy your footy, and we'll catch up with you again next week.